The speed of the team is determined by the speed of its leader. And today is all about sales leadership. And I have with me here a sales leader, a dear friend, one of the HALT alumni, Rajab Abu Keer.
Yeah.
How are you, Rajab?
All good, Ramez. It's always a pleasure to see you and sit with you. I mean, we had a lot of, let's say, good, let's say, backgrounds and discussions during my tenure in HALT. And I mean, we become also friends and have a lot of connections with your fantastic, let's say, sessions within the Academy of Sales. So it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, man. The pleasure is always mine. Today we have a focus on, the concept of sales leadership, and within sales leadership there is the topic of sales and leadership. So it's both of them coming together. Rajab, you've attended one of my sales management courses back at the university. I'm gonna just put you on the spot. By the way, Rajab, tell us a bit about your current role. What are you doing at this moment so that people can...
Yeah, thanks, Ramez. So I am now the Senior Commercial Director for Georg Fischer. It's a leader for the industry for the water flow solutions and sustainable energy solutions as well. So I'm looking after the Middle East, North Africa region and international market.
Water flow, right? So let's go. Whatever there is water, there is energy. Whatever there is energy, there is life. You know?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
fantastic. So this is where we go back to asking you, from attending my sales management course at HALT International Business School, what were the biggest takeaways for you as you now embark on this, or you've been on this journey now for a couple of years? Go ahead.
I mean, for me, there's many good topics every time I attend the sessions, but the one which stood, let's say, almost is the value selling. And for me, since we are, I mean, as a Swiss company, we produce, let's say, the most high-end products and solutions. And value selling is something really crucial, let's say, to focus on and to, let's say, transfer this kind of knowledge and thinking about it within, let's say, the organization and the team.
I mean, that's my, this is what I hear every single day. And a lot of organizations today, what we're seeing is there is fierce competition. The barriers to entry in different markets and technologies have gone down drastically, which actually is creating an increased level of competition. Absolutely. And this increased level of competition is making it more difficult for organizations to really differentiate themselves and be able to sell this value. And I hear a lot of sales leaders that basically complain or talk about the biggest challenges that in this region, in this market, because there was traditionally more demand than supply, sales professionals were very comfortable. And this market was very forgiving in the sense where even if I didn't do the right process, the right steps, orders still came in because customers really wanted what we have. Absolutely. Especially if you had a Swiss type of a Swiss brand or Swiss technology that's able to deliver very precise, let's say, functions or very precise machinery, instruments and flows and things like that is required to achieve certain technical results. But today, the competition is fierce. So let's look at the concept of value selling. And without going, I'm going to say, without sharing company secrets, but just being as transparent as you can in a sense to allow our listener to really understand and possibly see that the flow solutions that you sell, or you call them the transient, say it again.
Yeah, it's like flow solution from one point to one point for the water itself,
right,
from within the buildings.
Right. So what's so special about them, and how can we get to the point of actually selling this value?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good question, and we have a lot of, discussion about this topic. But it's not only for the flow solution; it's also you can implement in anywhere. Let's say when we talk about value selling, and the key point is that the starting point will be how you understand the value of your customer first. That means what they need to
So a lot of time the customer does not know what they need. They tell you, I need this product, but they don't know why. How do you get them to give you that further detail?
Exactly. So what we do actually, we add on top of it the services, which, for example, I can tell you from our perspective is engineering. It's the thing where most of our customers is dealing with us, because they know from engineering perspective, mainly for radiant cooling solutions, they know that we are the specialist on that specific matter. So they always come to us and we help them to understand more what is value for them and how we can really tackle each and every area of development they need. So that's one of the topic which we really emphasize on, and we see that it adds a lot from both perspective, that we understand, and if they don't know where the value is, that we help them to know the place.
Right. You know, many years ago, there was something called a microwave. Nobody knew what a microwave was. Nobody knew they needed one. But today, try to take away a microwave. I just learned from Rajab what is radiant cooling. I had no idea what is radiant cooling, right? And maybe I'm going to allow you to explain this concept of radiant cooling, and maybe mention, if you can, maybe one success story that maybe exists in the market today. Yeah,
I think radiant cooling in principle is how to make the place more comfortable with 0 decibel, that you noise free. It's much higher efficient than the normal, let's say, cooling principles. It has a lot of let's say of benefits, but at the end of the day, we reach a place where it's more comfortable to the people, especially in GCC, that we need the cooling all the time. And you know, after the pandemic, also it become more crucial to look into the hygiene kind of the systems, and radiant cooling can be the best system also for hygiene. So it's a win-win.
So hygiene means there is no air filters, no this, no that. It just kind of cools, right?
Exactly.
Man, that's amazing.
So there's a lot of, as I said, add value, and also lifetime cycle. It's a huge. I mean, we're talking about 50 years. So it's
50 years.
Yes, exactly.
The lifetime of the product.
Yes, it's almost maintenance-free system as well. So it's.
So it pays for itself.
Absolutely.
And then tell me about this thing, putting it outdoors.
Yeah, we can do also some principles, also using also sustainable, let's say, solution as a source, because at the end of the day, we try to make the places more comfortable for in and out. So that's the thing. We have a lot of references like airports, like museums, like offices within the region running successfully for the last 5 to 10 years already, which make our customers very, very happy on it.
You can see you have an engineering background, or you know a bit technical stuff, right?
Absolutely.
I don't, right? However, this is the concept of value engineering, or the concept of selling the engineering as a value add to the client, right? So giving them understanding the dynamics, understanding flows, understanding certain technological aspects, you can bring a solution that today this might be at its nascent stages, yet as more and more let's say users adopt this technology, it will become the standard down the line. Now this doesn't compete necessarily with existing air conditioning manufacturers, and you know it actually complements.
It is,
right?
It is
So you want to say something about
that? The idea is that we can also add value in all areas, because we can, as I mentioned, that we're using the source of the cooling from also the existing, let's say, technologies of the air system or the water-based systems, because we use water in the base instead of air system. So it's complement, of course, and it will help the total industry to focus on something which is really much better. And at the end of the day, it's the best for sustainability.
Right. The best for sustainability, and this is becoming the buzzword that everyone is talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Rajab, you mentioned to me that sometimes it's important to know the customer needs, and from there you'll start realizing, well, what is it that they value? Can you give me an example about maybe a customer need and how you were able to kind of tailor your value proposition towards that customer?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can give you an example of normally when we go to work with customers on radiant cooling as an example. So the customer doesn't know exactly how it works, because it's a kind of
it's a new thing.
Technology.
Yeah.
So we go extra mile here, and we provide the full engineering, let's say, kind of arrangement to the customer, from thermal imaging to take the location of the place. We have a special softwares in Germany where we implement everything, and we go to the customer showing them the actions, result, ROI. So we have complete kind of, let's say, business study for the customer to understand both sides of technicalities at the same time, from commercial wise and from the life cycle and from all aspects, from the CapEx and OpEx. And this made our customers really happy for it, because when we provide this, there is a part of this kind of arrangement they used to do internally. But since this technology don't know much about it,
they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. So we do it on that perspective. So that's the add value.
So what's coming to mind is this is a beautiful example of what is known as the challenger sale, where you're teaching your customer about certain technology, you're tailoring your approach to their particular needs, you're showing them how it would fit their environment, their operations, and then you're taking control of the conversation, because at the end you're showing them the potential ROI, you're talking with the key stakeholders, so everybody will want something. So if there is a sustainability manager who is part of this equation, they want to get the green certifications. And if you're talking with the financial officer, he wants to get the financial potential benefits, maybe not on CapEx, but on OpEx over a period of time. And of course, if you have the operation manager, he's excited because low maintenance, higher uptime, minimal disruptions, and it's a more sustainable flow for everyone. So it's a beautiful example of actually how you bring this entire concept to life.
Absolutely.
So now, for a lot of the audiences today, we ignore the fact that some of your products and services and solutions, the customer might not be aware of them, right? And actually, if the customer, according to many of the research, we know today that most customers, because of availability of information online, they'll research their own solution. They'll come up with their own, let's say, requests based on their own, analysis, and they do probably 60-70% of the decision before they invite suppliers, right? If this happens, then when you meet these 3 or 4 suppliers, they probably have been vetted to have very similar solutions. So now it's only a matter of squeezing the price. Yet, if you can be at the initial stages, if you can educate your customers on the value, on the future, on how this helps them achieve certain objectives, and if you're talking with the right people, you really are you're differentiating your approach in the process. Make sense?
Absolutely, yes. I just want to emphasize on this one point. This is also connected very much on the innovation and R&D. For us, we invest a lot as a company to make sure that we have always new stuff and new technologies and new innovations within the industry that will help, let's say, and to differentiate and to give more values to the customers, because we hear what is going on, how we can improve, and we have a lot of really focus on that perspective.
So thank you for this R&D, investments. I think today, regardless of what business you're in, there are companies that have a 1% budget on R&D, 2%, 5%, depending on how technologically advanced things are. And today we're seeing in the world of AI, where if you're not keeping up to date, technologies and businesses are actually becoming obsolete overnight. So I love this idea of research, and you really are staying 1 or 2 steps ahead. Absolutely. And you become a source of value to your customers.
Absolutely.
Now, we spoke a little bit about the concept of a complex sale. And today, in a complex sale where you have multiple stakeholders, we were talking about maybe account plans, territory plans. Just from your perspective, when you are selling in a complex deal, how can you, let's say, be in more or less in control of that account? How can you ensure that, I don't want to say be in control, but how can you make sure that you are that you reduce risk for your own organization and maximize the output for the buying organization?
Yeah, actually, we work on this. I mean, with the customer, at the end of the day, it's a trust. So we have the good relationship with all our, let's say, customers. They know us very well on the how high service we give and how, let's say, accurate information and development support we give. But normally, how we do it, actually, we have like a different kind of levels within each company, because when you add value, you don't need to add on, for example, on a higher level only or a mid-level. You can also get a lot of value to add with also the entry level with the guys. For example, we work with construction. So the people on the site, they also,
the users,
they are very, very important,
yes,
because they are the one who touch and feel in the site, and we get a lot of good feedback from
absolutely,
them, which help us a lot. So this kind of two-way discussion that we support, we get this contact, we get this trust on all the levels, and then we get feedback and we learn and then we improve. And this is the cycle where we normally work, and we keep this kind of communication running with each and every.
So in what I'm getting from you is your sales teams need to have a long-term perspective.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about getting a quick deal now. We all love to get a quick deal, but you know, in the type of selling that we do, you have to work up the need, and you need to be talking with the right individuals,
absolutely,
right, to be able to get there. So you really have to be what I call a very patient, farmer versus hunter. I think it's about farming, tending that ground, nurturing it, and really understanding the environment that you're in, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Wonderful. So so thank you for this. I believe, I had once worked with a company that sells construction tools,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the exciting part is exactly as you were saying. The sales professional, there was once a salesman got called into a site to give a quotation on a certain set of tools, and he put the quotation, and then the person that asked him for that quotation called him back and said, "Come here, look, I have a quotation from your competitor. Look at this, it's half price. You guys are thieves." So he was like completely. Now the poor salesman quickly looked at it, and he saw that whatever the quotation was for this other product was not the right specification. He's comparing a potato with an apple, completely uncomparable. So he was like telling him, "Well, I can give you something like this much cheaper, but if you want this application, it's not going to work." I don't know, you're out, get out of here. Okay, so that guy wanted to maybe bring in a new, let's say, a new kid on the block. So he brought in this new tools. Now, this sales professional did not leave the site because he has his tools throughout the site. So he kept going to exactly the people you were describing. He kept going to the foreman. He kept going to the actual laborers working with the tools. And after about not even a month of actually them getting these other tools, he went there and he's saying, "How's everything?" They're like, "Oh, this new tool's not working. This is not working.
Yeah.
This is getting jammed. And I'm using this other one." So he's like, "Okay, I told the guy." So now he went back to visit him and basically was able to, not "I told you so," but he was able to say, "Well, look, I'm getting, I know, as you know, I need to service you. I'm finding this. How is this affecting you? How is this impacting you?" So he's like, "Okay." So eventually the guy cooled down and brought him back.
Yeah. Patience is always important, Ramez. And when we talk about sales, you need to be patient. You don't need to surrender, because not all the business you will get. This is the belief you need to have in mind. But it's always good to keep the contact, keep going, keep sharing values, what you do, and believe of what you are doing. This is the main thing. Other things will come, but you need to believe inside that this is the right thing you are.
And when you are a professional, when you are someone like you who knows your stuff, who really understand the customer, you know what? You said something before, people buy, trust is important, and people buy from those they know, like, and trust. And even if today I don't buy from you, but if I see that you want my benefits, right? I always, this is a quote I got a long time ago from one of my mentors, Zig Ziglar, and he talked about what? In order to get what I want, I have to help someone get what they want first. And this is it. So it's the law of reciprocity. What you give, you're going to get back. And it's really great to see a leader in sales having the right the right values, the right mindset of service and giving and helping others, right? In a sense that we're not going to win them all. It doesn't mean, we don't always go for the gold, right? However, at the end, you have to realize that there are things in your control and things that maybe it's not the right time.
Yeah.
But you got to keep the doors open.
Absolutely.
So when the right time comes, you are going to be the one that gets contacted.
Yeah.
Now today I realize that some of the sales leaders that are hearing us today might have a direct sales force, or they might have an indirect sales force. In other words, they work through distributors, right? In your case, do you have both?
Oh, from our side, we do mostly through distributors. So we do the B2B business mainly in our case.
Wonderful. So, and this is, by the way, a hot topic. Today a lot of let's say multinationals operating in none of their core territories. It makes sense for them to go through distributors. Yeah. But if you end up, let's say, marrying the wrong distributor, you end up in a difficult situation, right? Now I know when you took over this region, you had multiple channel partners, and so just maybe you can share something. How did you, let's say, bring them together? How did you, let's say, get them to work together as opposed to work against each other?
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of topics when we discuss with distribution. Sometimes I don't like to call them distribution, I call them partners. And for us, when we work as a partner, we have definition of what we need to do. We have shared goals, we have shared alignment, and we know exactly what we are doing and where. And we do it on a clarity.
Together. So I love this. Wherever there are shared goals, yes, right? Wherever there is no goals, no shared goals, then there's going to be conflict. But when we have the same goals, same values.
Absolutely.
Sorry for interrupting you,
but
that was a really golden nugget there.
Exactly. So when we work on it, we have the clarity also. It's very important. So we know which market, which kind of solutions we want to sell, where and why, and all this kind of questions. So we clarify all these points from the beginning. And always I am telling the partners that I'm not the kind of manufacturer who, let's say, shake hand at the beginning of the year. We agree on something, what we need to get at the end of the year of net sales, and I say, see you at the end of the year. We are not like that. We work hand in hand in the countries, in the regions. We go together and we win together. And this is the spirit which we put, let's say, from our team and with our partners, which make it more into that we are one company. So it's like united kind of alignment. And then you can see that the both sales team, like inside and also from the partner, they have working together as one. And I think that's the main thing. If we talk about let's say multiple, of course, again, it's a clarity. So we always work on the clarity and we say, okay, this is each company what's doing, where and why, and those kind of things.
So you specify the segments, you specify the channels, you specify the, let's say, expertise of each one of your partners. And this would be the areas that they would
because there is different kind of, partners and
sure,
different kind of abilities and talent and.
Correct.
So we try always to match with it, and then also it's a both kind of investment between us as a manufacturer principal and also for the partners in the region. So that's how we really work with partners.
Wonderful. That's a really good strategic approach. Now let's go a bit on the ground. And if I were to ask you, what have you faced challenges in working with your distributor partners, and how have you overcome them in terms of, let's say, skill development, in terms of knowledge sharing, in terms of them being able to really represent your company the right way?
Yeah. I can say that there is nothing without challenges. This is something which is, if we don't have challenges, we don't have
a job.
Anything to do. Exactly. But there is a multiple. So we tackle challenges one by one. If we talk about, for example, the knowledge, so we make sure that we have a frequent kind of training for the channels to make sure that they are up to speed with the knowledge, with the kind of approach. And for example, we take them to a point that if we are them go to the customer, we transfer the same message and we speak on the same level. So that's something which we invest on in terms of training.
In other words, you want the distributor sales force to be as good as your own sales force. So
Yes.
they have the knowledge, they have the expertise
Exactly.
to be able to.
Exactly, that's the aim. So that's what we normally emphasize. So we have a multiple training sessions on this. Adding to that also that sometimes some of the channels they used to deal with let's say partners on a different way. Like exactly, for example, if leaving the full year, or for example they have somewhere in outside, let's say, the country, and they are just visiting once a year, and that's it. So it is sometimes difficult that they see it as a challenge that someone here is following up and is on the ground, but we work together to show that this is actually an added value to them, that we can also to go together as an experts in what we do, and then we can have let's say the same messages, and we can grow the market together. So that's one of the things also that we can do. So we create from challenge opportunity, and from opportunity actions and development plans.
So I love this. So in a way you have a structure that allows you to amplify the value or amplify the results of your channel partners. So you don't just, tell them good luck. Yeah, here's good luck. Let's get the goal. You actually invest in resources that have the capability to then go on the ground with your various partners. So we work as one team. You work with them as one team.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Channel partners are an extension of your, let's say, of your own team. If you were to share something with our audiences, which one advice you might maybe share in maybe selecting a channel partner? If you could share anything along those lines.
I mean, normally, I believe that when you select a channel, first of all, you need to have, let's say, a focus of what you need to achieve at the beginning. I mean, together, and then you need to go with the channels where you think that they have the talent in house. They are also willing to invest with you to take the business to the next step. It's not only like an add-on on the shelf kind of product, because it's a high competitive market if you see in the region. And when we talk about channels, mostly they have multiple, let's say, products, let's say 10 to 15 kind of product. And normally channels, they do one person per multiple. So from the sense of sales, normally people tend to sell the easiest product or solution than the others. So if you give him 5 and then you say, okay, go and sell, the sales by nature, he will go with the easiest one, not to go with the hardest. And when we talk about high-end and high-value solutions where we need to go and discuss in deep dive engineering and others where the cycle is longer, then it becomes, let's say, something, different for the existing person. So that's something which is, I think, need to be aligned if you want, let's say, in any industry to select a channel, to make sure that you have a defined kind of way to go on it. It's not just to discuss about where to sell and how much the amount, it's how to build, let's say, the base of the structure of which will take you to the next level of the sales. So it's opposite way. So that's, I think, the point which you need to start from, instead of you start from how much value you want to sell.
Right, I love this. So it's a bit about planning. We call it distributor targeting model. So you spoke about the elements of how do you identify a potential partner, right? You understand, well, which products, which segment do I want to grow in? Do they have the capacity? Do they have the resources, the know-how? Sometimes you might need engineers. You might need certain capacity, and of course, the more you're selecting, you can say mapping your distributors to see which ones are going to be more, let's say, matching, and that's a really. I
can give you also like kind of example. We work normally with a long-term relationship, so we have customers, let's say, and we have a distributors working with us for more than 30 years now. I can tell you one example in Jordan and in Lebanon. So we have really a long-term kind of relationship where we really emphasize on it, and we build the business together like step by step. And that's why selecting a partner is crucial actually for the business. And as I mentioned, it's a partnership at the end of the day. It's a win-win situation.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for this, Rajab. And if I were to kind of go back to the topic of managing through others, right? We spoke, so today you lead, you have some people on the ground that are your own team, and plus you have the teams of your extended partners, right? And if I were to ask you here, what is the one thing that really will differentiate a sales professional that will succeed, will accept the challenge to go and proactively drive the value that you want to do? So what makes one person more successful than another in terms of traits? What are the characteristics that define them as successful salespeople?
Yeah, I mean, it's very good. Let's say pure question to the point. When we talk about sales, I mean, sales by nature, you need to believe of what you are doing. And I think if you reach a point that the person for example, when we talk about sustainability growth and about Radiant, so you are adding value not only to the user, but you are for the community and for the bigger range and even for the earth. So the idea is that we always do this kind of interaction with the sales team to make them believe that what they are focusing on and what they want to sell is something, let's say, giving them more value personally. So it's a personal development as well. So they have the knowledge from the engineering perspective, they have the knowledge of actions, what they need to do, and they do it with the systematic stuff. So that's something which is then make the salesperson more successful than another one of why I need to do this, except that.
So if I can just read between the line, it's really the beliefs you want to connect with the values of the individuals. Yeah. So do I believe? I mean, a long time ago I sold knives. You know the story. Yeah. I used to sell knives door to door, Cutco Cutlery, vector marketing for a 15-year period of time. So I wasn't just selling them, but you know the story. Yeah. But then how do you wake up in the morning excited about knives? You say knives, knives, knives. So it was not just the knives. It was, well, what am I doing with these knives? And I really believed in the core of my soul and from my heart that, you know what, I'm going to help students become better professionals, become better communicators. I'm going to give skills to students to help them become better business people, to help them become better doctors, better engineers, better architects, because at the end, you're selling yourself. And if you don't, so from a management perspective, I believed 100% in that opportunity. I was a product of that opportunity. Now, from a selling perspective, again, the products are amazing. And I think here, sales professionals, there is this one quote that says, when you don't find any job, you become a salesman, and it's like the profession that basically everybody goes, starts at. And many people, unfortunately, start in sales and say, well, I hope it's a start, but I'm going to get a job in marketing. They'll start there and they hope to change. Well, if you're starting there and you hope to change, I'm sorry, you're actually not even focusing on the job, right? And when you really realize, and today, there are so many things to be excited about. The technologies that you're doing. The world is going in a complete, very, very fast evolution, and anything that a person can do. I love to work with companies like yours because when I share my art, I share my knowledge, I share my expertise in products and solutions that can make a difference in our planet and our existence, I get excited. And that to me is a really amazing, let's say, point. So find people, find people that really have a clear goal and are going places, and to whatever extent they believe in your mission, vision, goals, values, and then we're going to rock and roll together.
Absolutely, yes.
They say, again, we go back to saying finding a common goal. If you have common goals, common vision, you'll overcome any obstacle that will come in your way. And as a sales leader, how often you communicate your goals, your vision, your values as an organization to really keep reminding your teams of why they're doing what they're doing. I'm going to close with this one comment. I remember when I took over the Unilever business, so from sales training to sales management, going back into leadership and managing others. I sat down with every single one of my sales professionals, and I asked them, and even my marketing and finance and HR and supply chain, everyone. And I said, why are you here? Why do you want to continue the journey with Unilever? And at the time, we were not doing very well within the food service division in 2007. And one after the other, they said, one particular person excited about growth, excited about opportunities. But one person said, Ramez, is, you know, I want to be part of turning around this business, right? I want to be part of this turning around. I said, well, you put on your seatbelt, man. Najib Kamsegal, if you're listening, that's you, man. You know, if you know, I want to be part of that turnaround. And guess what? We did it. He did it. He was part of that turnaround. And of course, everybody else on the team, who today they are leaders of their own, and we did it. So again, bring your people with you, go back to the basics, and together we can sell more, sell faster, and profit.